Howdy doody, buckaroonies. It's RJ here with your newest episode of Realms and Nerds. As usual, before we get started, just a few notes for you. First of all, our big announcement is that you can now find our podcast on Spotify. Also, if you listen to our podcast through iTunes or Apple Podcasts, be sure to leave our show a rating and review. It would really help, and we'd really appreciate it. If you're a new listener or you just haven't already, I highly suggest you hit the subscribe button to be the first to be notified when we put up a new episode of the show and automatically get it downloaded. You can also find us on social media. We're on Facebook with both a Facebook page and a Facebook group. We're on Instagram as well, and Tumblr and Twitter. If you make a post online about the show, be sure to include the hashtag RealmsNerds. That's all one word, RealmsNerds. If you like our show, be sure to share it with people you think would also like the show. It's one of the best ways to grow our listening audience. Once again, I'd like to thank our friend Kyle for composing the main introductory theme that you'll hear here shortly. Thank you again, Kyle. We honestly can't thank you enough. Thank you once again for listening. We really appreciate you. I have talked well long enough, and I think it's about time that we continue back with our adventurers in the Return of Ornon. Previously on Realms and Nerds, The Return of Ornon.
A man walks in. He's wearing a set of officer's armor embossed with all kinds of gold and just different intricate designs. Mikhail recognizes him as Captain Artemis of the Golden Guard. The Dark Elves of old were able to use silver to channel magical energy. We think that right before he was vanquished, Ornon poured his life energy into several silver objects, which then allowed him to survive all of these years and now return as a lich. We have learned of a man. This man is said to wield a silver ring. We believe that this ring may be one of the silver pieces that Ornon poured his life spirit into. Clearly, we cannot allow such a powerful artifact to be in the hands of evildoers. However, it is unclear if we will be able to destroy it. Once you recover this item, we will have to examine it to figure out what can be done about it. You all kind of have, at this point, congregated together around the corpse and have retrieved a ring from his finger that you can only surmise is the silver ring that was the one that you are looking for.
Chromatic Orb. 17 against AC.
Not gonna hit him.
Okay, well, Wild Magic Surge. Joan is immune to being intoxicated by alcohol for the next 23 days.
You all pack up your new stuff and head out going south toward Beacon. So the entire party has journeyed back to Beacon. Took you several days, but it's been largely uneventful, as if you remember before, there is a fairly well-traveled road that goes from Timber's Crest back to Beacon, as they are trading partners. And so it's fairly well maintained. There's not a whole lot of thieves and whatnot around the area, and especially for adventurers that are heavily armed are not going to be messed with very much on this road.
I wonder what it would have done like if they named the city Bacon.
What? Why? Joan!
I don't know, bacon's just really good.
Stop it. You're making me hungry.
3 of them.
I'm sorry, I forgot to eat breakfast.
You must be loopy.
You always forget to eat breakfast.
I'm sorry that I can't get drunk, so I
Whiskey's
can't
not
sleep.
breakfast!
I will strangle both of you! I was going to suggest that maybe Joan was getting a little loopy due to his inability to become intoxicated.
Wait, Joan can't get intoxicated?
That's not the problem. The problem is I can't sleep well.
I've noticed that you've only been drinking water the last few days and crying constantly.
No.
Yeah, what's up with that? Until we get to a town where there's a tavern, and then you order the strongest drink and drink an enormous amount of it.
I mean, actually, if you look at my water skin, Joan holds it out to Mikhail for him to sniff. It's whiskey.
Oh, you were just drinking so much of it, I thought it was water.
Nah.
Yeah, alright. Now I'm sad.
Didn't I actually just... I just bought a water skin so I can actually have water in that one.
You make me sad, Joan.
I mean, you make me sad.
We've got
Well,
some
that's
nice
another story.
crispy bacon for you, Mr. Frodo.
Put it out! Put it out!
Oh, that's nice. Ash and my tomatoes.
Alright. So, Joan is a very, very, very sad and very, very tall boy. So, anyway, you make it back to Beacon without too much trouble. So, after you make your way into the city, you walk up to the gates of the inner sort of keep area and are, after a brief moment, are admitted in and walk up to the offices of Captain Artemis.
Do we walk in?
Wait, oh yeah, do we?
Yeah.
I mean, that's up to you. Are you gonna kick the door in?
Rhomash kicks the door.
Gonna knock? What are you doing?
I guess he kicks the
Rhomash just
door.
waltzes on in.
How you doing, Artie?
Hi, Captain Artemis!
How you doing, Artie?
Hello. Were you able to recover the ring?
Rhomash
Were
pulls the
you?
ring out of his bag.
What?
I don't know. I'm tired.
Alright.
I've got it here for you. Just pull it out of my bag.
Does it accidentally slide onto your hand?
Uh-oh. Yeah,
This is like
one
one
ring style.
scratches out
It's
5
just-
pages.
As I grab it out of my pocket, it slips onto my finger, you know?
Okay. And nothing happens
Okay.
because it's not that kind of ring. And
Everyone else turns invisible.
Drops to the floor. Thud!
Captain Artemis actually looks pretty concerned that you've just walked right in. You mean to tell me that you brought that into the city without an escort? Where are the guards?
We are the escort.
are the escort.
I don't
You
think
never
guards
told
are
us to bring
tougher than
guards.
us. I mean, we're the ones who got
You
it.
just
Where
told
were
us
your
to
guards?
go kill the dude and get the ring.
Do you know what we've been through for this ring?
Boy, howdy, are you difficult.
And he kind of yells out the door. Captain! Another officer comes running in. Yes, sir! Alright, we need you to rally up a guard. We need to get this down to the vault immediately. And he turns and runs out of the room.
Are we gonna walk there with a procession or something? Just confetti flying through the air? What is this?
Artie, we've been here like 3 minutes now, and you haven't even noticed that I'm taller than you. Something's on your mind.
Pardon me, Artemis, but wouldn't it be a bit more discreet if we took it there in private, as we brought it into the city?
Yeah, why get a bunch of fanfare for something so deadly if you don't want it to fall in any wrong hands?
Wait a minute. Why are we taking it to a vault? Do you guys
Why?
not know how to destroy these things or something?
Why don't we use it?
Get out of here, Boromir.
Well, it's not that we don't know how to destroy it.
Then why don't you just destroy it?
I myself am not a practicer of the arcane arts, but from what I can tell from the conversations I've had with our masters is that the power contained within this ring would be incredibly dangerous to destroy it. They are attempting to formulate some warding spells that can be used to shield the area where the ring is destroyed, but for the time being, we are going to have to hang on to it until it can be safely disposed of.
Can I do an insight check to see if he's, like, lying to us or telling us, like, half-truths here or something?
Sure, yeah.
That's a 5.
Okay.
He's your best friend.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck these dice.
You don't really see Captain Artemis trying to lie to you.
I also roll an insight check.
Okay.
12.
As far as you can tell, Captain Artemis seems convinced by what he's telling you. He doesn't seem like he's trying to hold anything back.
Insight check. 19.
So with a 19, I think that you can actually detect that Captain Artemis is a soldier, and he's been a soldier for a long time, so he's stared down a lot of different dangers, but his sort of one downfall is he has never really been able to practice the arcane arts in any sort of capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So having such a strong magical object so close really kind of freaks him out a little bit. But as far as you can tell, he is not lying to you about his intentions with the ring.
Well, let's get this ring into a vault.
Well, I will compromise with you. We will take a small detachment of 10 guards with us.
Fair enough.
And so,
let's all carry a silver ring so they don't know which one is real.
I don't trust that coming from you, Seebo. I feel like you would probably swap the real one with a fake one and then pocket the real one for later.
I, for one, am on board with Seebo. Do we have any duplicates among us?
No, and I ain't making any. I don't like
It
this
would take
idea.
longer
He's
to
shady,
make it.
and I don't like it.
Let's just
You,
go.
you really think that I want a magic ring
Yes.
that belongs to an evil sorcerer
Yes.
that at some point we believe he imbued his life essence into, and we've gone through many hardships just to survive to get this ring?
You do make a good point. But yes, I do think you would.
What are we waiting for? Let's go.
yes, I would agree that I think time is of the essence. Let's just get this down into the vault and get it over with. And so, you take the ring out the door, and as you do so, a small contingent of guards has lined up in the hallway, and they sort of surround you front and back as you walk through this hallway. So, these guys walk with you. You actually walk out of this building you were in and go down through a couple of alleyways to a large marble building. It's pretty unremarkable in terms of the entrance coming in. I mean, basically, it looks like a vault. It's a very sturdy, solidly built building, no windows. There's a big iron door on the front that a couple of guards swing open as you walk in. And as you kind of come in, you notice that this entryway, this kind of room, as you will, is basically empty. There's not really a lot in there, except in the middle is a big wooden platform with a mechanical contraption next to it. And Captain Artemis says, "This will lower us down into the vault. We found it best to use some of the passageways that were part of the mountain when the city was built as the vault space."
He would like to roll a perception check to just see everything that he can learn about this building.
Okay.
15.
Yeah, like I said, when you came in, there was those two big metal doors that were swung open by some guards. There was a couple more guards inside of the main area, but other than that, there was not a whole lot. There's some small areas that would be essentially the king's petty cache, if you will. You can see some bags of gold kind of locked up in sort of just like metal cage kind of areas.
What about the ceiling and the upper works of the building?
There's not really, I mean, it's just a solid piece up there, more or less. This is just like a one-story building as you come in.
How is this room lit?
There is some lanterns that are hung. There is pillars that go kind of along the two sides of the room, going all the way down, and all of the pillars have lamps on them.
You've got yourself a nice-looking vault here, Captain Artemis.
And he points at a couple of the guards. "Why don't you two keep an eye on this one?"
Probably a good idea. Trust me.
And
Good old Artie.
you all walk forward to this lift in the center of the room, and are you all going down with Captain Artemis?
I've got the ring, so I'll go down with him.
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
Howdy doody.
Alright, so everybody gets on with him, and we'll say just an extra 4 guards get on the lift with you, because it's not an incredibly large lift. So there's a couple more guards that are sort of the operators of the lift, and they pull a couple levers, and down you go. For a good little bit here, looks like probably 30 or 40 feet, it's just solid rock on either side of you. And as you go down, Captain Artemis explains, "As near as we can tell, long ago when the elves and the dragons battled for control of this place, this vault area was sealed by the extreme heat of the dragon's flames as they battled in this area. We came upon it actually by accident as we were tunneling down and exploring the area."
This isn't where the ring was kept before, was it?
No, the ring actually was not in the possession of Beacon prior to this. The ring itself is an ancient artifact. It comes from long ago, somewhere in the 1st or 2nd age. Has been passed around from various keeps stolen by different people, returned to those that would do no harm with it, and so on and so forth.
And stolen once more to reside here.
For now.
For now. Like I said, we are working on a solution to take care of this ring. As you can understand, those of you that are users of the arcane, these matters are very rarely straightforward, as I've been told, and sometimes with items such as this that have been constantly imbued with more and more magical properties over the centuries and millennia, it has become a challenge to unmake those different wards and properties. So then with that, you kind of punch down sort of through the rock face, and, well, in short, there's a lot of gold in here.
My.
You got yourself a haul here, Artie.
There are several bin areas that are just full of bags of golden coins. There's shelves that have various important records. There's a whole section that's all different jeweled pieces of ornamental jewelry. You're talking, crowns, scepters, brooches, necklaces, etc.
Rhomash looks down at Seebo and says, "You behave yourself." Exactly.
I am just looking.
Yeah, sure you are.
I'm sorry, was that out loud?
You keep telling yourself that. I see those fingers twitching over there.
So, yes, essentially, in short, you can tell that the wealth and sort of flashiness of Beacon is not hollowly presented. They do, in fact, have vast quantities of gold stored up here. So then with that, you have now reached the bottom of the vault. There are, as you've gone through, there was actually several different floors of the vault that you passed, but you bypassed all of those and you are now on the lowermost floor. And as you reach the bottom, you are greeted by a contingent of guards who are outfitted with some special gear. They're wearing sort of what looks like a cross between kind of like a soldier's armor and mining equipment. So you can only surmise that this is some sort of special gear that they've come up with for soldiers that specialize in being down in the depths for longer periods of time.
Y'all got a canary?
These guards come up to greet you, and after they have kind of verified your credentials, so to speak, they bring forward two dwarves that are much older. They have long gray beards, and they are introduced as the records keepers of the vault. And they take the ring, and they have a whole book that's their ledger, and they write down a spot number, and then they take this ring and place it into a big iron box, lock it away, and hand it to a couple of guards and direct them to the section to put it in.
Just like that. That's all we can do for now?
Down to the tavern.
Well, I can't really think of a much safer place to put it. These vaults are very well protected. We have quite a bit of magical shielding done to the exterior walls to keep them from being breached in that sort of a sense. And as you can see, we have guards in here that patrol constantly. I don't really have a much better place to put it right now.
Alright.
Is there anything in a way of a reward for finishing our quest and returning said dangerous item?
Yeah, do we get some compensation? I mean, that was
We went
a pretty
through
long haul. That was
we
hard.
went through quite a bit of effort and put our lives quite on the line.
Joan
Yes, let me-
grew several inches.
Let me...
Can we hit the tavern?
Let me, and he actually stopped, and he looks at Joan and goes, "Yes, Joan. What the fuck?"
I'm sorry, magic, you know?
Magic. Well, at any rate, yes. The king has obviously authorized a reward for you. In fact, it should be waiting for you
Do we get to meet him?
when we get to the top. Joan, that is a possibility we shall see. Obviously, you know the king is very busy.
Because if he's a dwarf, he's probably short, and I'm so tall it'll be kind of comical, you know?
Why don't you point that out?
I would not mention that to the king if you should meet him.
Oh, no, I just think it'd be comical, though.
No, we shall see. Obviously, the king is very busy. We're actually... Well, I won't bore you with the details, but there's some disputes going on in the border. We've got a couple of economic issues going on.
Do any of them involve the fists?
I cannot speak of matters of state.
Because I will gladly go against the fist with you.
Okay, again, I cannot speak of matters of state without approval. Anyways,
Can I talk to the record keeper for a little bit?
Hey, Seebo, how about we go hit the tavern instead?
I don't...
Just one question, Mr. Arden.
You can ask him one question. I don't feel comfortable leaving you here with them alone, though.
Mr. Record Keeper, sir.
Yes?
I was just wondering if an artifact by the name of the monocle of Latutu Sim might have come through here at some time.
Well, I am not sure. I will have to consult my records. It does not immediately come to mind, but that doesn't mean it's not here somewhere.
Because, you see, us gnomes, it's quite special to our heritage. It's my second grandfather on the left's son-in-law's, he created it out of pure gold for purely just practical reasons.
Rhomash yawns loudly.
Yes, well, I will consult my records, and I will pass a message on to Captain Artemis if I find anything.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, you guys make your way up to the lift. There's kind of like a little sort of signal pulley that Captain Artemis pulls, and a long ways up you hear a faint bell ring, and then the lift starts to come back up.
This is a neat contraption. What do you call this?
I know what you're doing here.
So do I.
Elevators!
We're not
Is
retconning elevator.
it called a lifterator?
A lifter, maybe.
I think you should just call it a lift. That'd drive easiest.
Yes, we call this a lift.
Makes sense.
It can be found in most construction sites to one degree or another.
What if you gotta go down? Wouldn't you want to call it a drop then? Or a lower? Lift only really works if you're going one way.
Slap Joan in the knee.
You make it to the top, and there is 4 bags of gold waiting for you. You all get 1,000 gold pieces.
Oh, yeah.
And on top of that, you are led by a couple of the guards to one of the nicer areas of the city, and find that they have set you up with some accommodations. You've all got some pretty nice apartments up here in the city to stay in.
Do these come with deeds, or are they just temporary lodgings?
At this point, it's just temporary.
Does mine come with a hot tub in it?
These apartments are guest lodging of the crown, normally used to house different dignitaries and whatnot, but because you have done this great service for the city, they're letting you use these for the duration of your stay here in Beacon.
How much to buy this?
I should warn you, I live kind of rustically, so whoever your maid service is might have to clean some mud off the floor.
I'd like to know how much it costs to buy one of these places permanently.
20,000 gold pieces.
Well, let me check my bank account. Oh, looks like I got 30,000 plus the 4,000 I got on me. Sounds good.
He said gold, not copper.
Oh, I thought he said iron. Gold-wise, yeah. Okay. And he slips the key into his bag that they gave him for it.
Yeah, no, you can't buy these apartments. That would be like asking the king how much it would cost to buy his throne from them.
Seebo could steal it for us.
Can I speak with your king?
No. Okay, so Joan is going to the tavern?
Tavern!
Okay.
To drink my sorrows away.
Since I am too far away to go hunting, I meditate in my room.
Rhomash is actually going to kind of wander the city and look around. He's not used to city life. He's kind of interested.
Tavern!
So I guess we'll just kind of do this kind of together. After you've been set up in these apartments, you've been here for about a week now. So what have you been doing in the intermittent week here?
Ever heard of a tavern?
You know, I seem to recall Joan saying something about a tavern.
Every morning, waking up in the tavern, drinks all day, just to fall asleep at the bar, to wake
Sober.
up.
Completely and totally sober.
So you spent your whole week in the tavern?
No, just like
He's
the
so
later portion
desperate
of
to
the
get
day.
drunk.
He's gonna wander the city earlier in the day
tab.
to see
Okay.
what's about, but
So
he's gonna spend a decent amount of time in
Your
the tavern.
tab is 150 gold pieces
Alright, that's
per
fine.
day. No, for the week.
Oh, you should have done per day.
Okay, Mikhail, what have you been up to for the week?
Well, during the day part of the time, I am quietly meditating in my room and researching arcane arts as far as necromancy. Kind of to follow along the traits or ask around about any sort of type of magics that would be related to the kinds that he would figure that Malleopolis would be using. And then at nighttime, he goes practicing his agility by leaping from rooftop to rooftop.
Okay. Does he go back to the temple at all to kind of check in, or?
He does go back to the temple and report back everything that he's heard. He mentions how Malleopolis would be going to the north and request permission from the temple to actually head north in pursuit of Malleopolis after this is finished.
Okay. Yeah, I think that they kind of give him permission to continue on this quest. And in addition, he finds out that a couple more of his brothers of Bahamut have returned, and they talked about how on the northern edge of the forest they helped to repel an assault by some giant scorpion-like creatures that tried to cross over into the forest. But with the help of the Leaf Coalition and their brethren, they were able to push them back.
And then I inquire if Mossy considered them more or less equal, or the debts rather spared as far as his assistance.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's very grateful for the help. He views the world sort of less in a sense of keeping tallies of who owes who, but he's definitely grateful for the help in sort of repelling the assault.
I want to remind the other priests in the temple that the Leaf Coalition would be good to keep as allies in the future.
Okay.
And I kind of relay the story of everything that went down in Reach,
Okay.
leaving out the bits of me being aligned with theft.
Okay. Leaving that bit out.
Yes.
Alright. What's Seebo been up to?
On the first night, Seebo desired one thing only, and that was to climb to the very tippity top of the mountain that Beacon is, built into,
Yeah.
which I assume involves climbing on top of the palace. And then over the remaining week that they remained in Beacon, on 4 of the nights, he decided to sneak into the homes of a few of the higher-end residents that live in Beacon, collecting a few valuables, and spend a little bit of time, in the tavern, playing music during the day, and later at night, planning and then executing the small heists of some wealthy homes.
Joan only enters the taverns, by the way, after Seebo's done performing.
Seebo's kind of wondering just how much he made out with.
Well, he hasn't made out with anything yet, because he's still got to fence these items that he stole. Do you have somebody you trust in
Joan.
Beacon?
Fencing the fence.
Really?
Half work down in the market district.
Okay. Have you done dealings with this guy before? Do you trust him, or?
A few times. He is definitely cautious of this guy, but they both have mutual respect for each other and the fact that they both are quite involved in the criminal activities of Beacon and the surrounding towns.
Man, Seebo is turning into just a klepto here.
Yeah.
Also, wouldn't they, want to keep people from getting to the top of the mountain, or is it that, a tourist trap kind of thing?
No, he climbed up.
He gets to the top, climbs over a fence, and discovers a bunch of tourists with cameras.
Yeah.
It's like, hi there, bud.
Climb to the top!
There's
the best view around.
there's the winding path up to the top of Beacon, and then there's the sheer cliff. And, Seebo decided to climb the sheer cliff.
Camera would be the code word for the artist that sits there and they're like, ooh, draw that.
Exactly. There's an artist up there like, God damn it, I'm going to add a freaking gnome.
No,
He moved.
Now nobody blinked for an hour and a half.
Welcome to the city of Beacon. See the top of the mountain. Had the best view around for miles.
For real though, they actually don't let any tourists or anything up there. It's kind of like a lookout point for the military.
Okay, so that's what I thought, is that he'd have to kind of sneak his way
That's why I
up
said
there.
the first night,
Yeah.
he has extra stealth at night, as well as the fact.
Yeah, alright, let's do a stealth check here. And you have a buff on this, don't you, because of your cloak?
And then I rolled a nat 20.
So Seebo climbs up to the top, and actually, while he's up there, because of his little poncho that he's got with the crest of Beacon, actually gets seen by the guards, but is able to convince them that he is some sort of a part of the military and gets away.
Yeah, now I'm part of
Not at all.
a super specialized group of highly capable individuals that are on a very intense mission to go across the entire region and collect high-end relics and bring them back to Beacon to lock in the vault.
Lying by telling the truth.
Yeah!
Mission no possible.
Mission impossible.
So, what has Rhomash been up to?
Rhomash?
Whoa. So did Seebo get any cash?
Yeah, we'll say he got $250 out of it.
Yeah, Expensy ain't gonna give you all the money you deserve from that.
You're lucky you
But
can get away
he's-
selling it at quarter value.
He spent, we're gonna say he spent $150 during his time drinking and also buying some of the herb. Since you've now retconned in that he's an enjoyer of the good.
Of the finest of the White Timber Grove.
Alright, so Rhomash, what have you been up to?
Rhomash is highly distrusting of this place. He's been living in the wilds his whole life, and if there's one thing he's learned about civilization, it's people who love fortunes like gold and put high value in it have misguided values of power. And he thinks that they're keeping the ring for an ulterior purpose. He's just not sure what it is yet. Maybe not Captain Artemis, but he just does not trust this place. So he's going to look around and just try and collect as much as he can about the history of this place. He's very interested in the dragon's ancient nesting site, the mountain, and
Sounds
being
like a history
dragonborn.
check.
He kind of like a history check. Yeah, but he's also investigating the city to see if he can discover anything he can about any possible ulterior motives of this place and these ancient relics, because he does not trust a civilization this large. It's distasteful to him. It's completely contrasting to Timber's Crest, where they were living in communion with nature, versus this place, which is a giant metropolis.
Yeah, I actually would like you to do a history check.
He sits with his herb garden all week.
Fuck me!
That's 4.
Okay, yeah, I think you're able to learn a little bit about the city, but not really quite as much as you would have hoped. So is Rhomash then, because I know you said he feels like they have ulterior motives for the ring. Has he been watching the vault as well?
Yeah, he's been kind of scouting out all the guard activity and anyone he can, basically. He's trying to find out as much as he can about the guards in particular around the vault, maybe something about the captains if he can. He's trying to be very subtle about it, too.
Okay.
You know a national treasure when they're touring the Independence Hall
Yes.
with the Liberty Bell? Rhomash was intending to climb up to the bell tower, but instead he followed along with the tour. Whoa, this is interesting.
It's like, damn it, there's some good dragon stuff here. Wait, what was I supposed to be doing again? Never mind. Dragons.
So, like I said, you've been in Pekin for about a week now, and then you all get a scroll delivered to the door of your apartment that reads as followed. You are cordially invited to the wedding ceremony of Hiram Silvertwist and his bride Matilda Stoneforge to take place 2 days from now.
So who are these people?
So, you guys don't know either of these people. Mikhail actually recognizes the name Hiram Silvertwist. He is a very rich member of the city and has been a long-time patron of the temple.
Kind of like a sponsor.
Sure, yeah. And he, although not a member himself, sort of tries to use his money to act like he is. His house, he's got a lot of sort of Bahamut stuff
Suits
there.
of armor,
He's got the suits of armor and the weapons, and, you know, maybe like when they sit down for dinner, he throws up a quick prayer to Bahamut or whatever.
After dinner, to entertain the guests, he practices sword form poorly in front of them.
He likes to sort of play like he's a part of this culture, but insofar, there's not really been anything that members of the temple could do to stop him, and he does give a lot of money to the temple, so...
Mikhail decides that he might be worthy of note and decides to attend to at least observe this person.
Are we like all like walking outside our door and finding the scroll kind of like the morning paper with like our cups of coffee?
We all open the door at the same
Rhomash
time, ironically.
Hold on!
Rhomash has a big fucking mug of Joe.
I mean, I think for Joan, it's probably a big cup of whiskey.
Because he's definitely picking up the scroll, glancing over, and like closing the door behind him as he goes back into wallow in his misery.
So, I'm assuming that you all are going to accept this invitation?
Yes.
No.
I think Joan threw it away.
He's using it as a coaster
Rhomash,
for his whiskey.
Rhomash is getting ideas. Because again, he's
Invitation?
going back to National Treasure. You know how the whole thing was just the whole party, and he used that as the cover.
What has our podcast become?
How many times are we going to go back to National Treasure in this?
Rhomash actually
We're
goes
gonna
to
steal the
Seebo,
press.
and just between the two of them, hey Seebo, I'm really interested about what else is going on down in that vault. Are you as interested as I am, for starters, or are you more interested in this party?
Very interested, actually.
Could you help me figure out if we could use this whiting as a cover to allow us to go down there and investigate a little bit?
On one condition.
What?
In our time down there, we look for my family's relic.
You get 5 minutes.
Rhomash, can I use your hot tub?
No!
Come on, I'm bored.
No!
I'm opening the door.
I chose that room specifically.
Joe, get out of
because
here!
It has the hot tub.
Rhomash, I want to use your hot tub.
If only
He's
if
got
I could
two
use your
he's-
shower,
he's
because I
too
don't have a
festive.
shower.
He's got 2 whiskeys with him, by the way.
Well, he's not drunk, I know that.
No, he's not.
I want to use your hot tub.
I want to use the
These
hot
aren't
tub.
working.
I'm bored. It's hot out today.
Rhomash actually grabs Joan
So-
and brings her in the room. Okay, so Joan, we have an idea.
Whoa.
What do you mean, whoa? We can use all the help we can get.
In an aside,
Are we doing another heist?
he whispers to Rhomash, Lawful, you know, he's kind of like, he likes to act like he actually is a good person.
You know, we're like 2 feet away from each other. I heard all of that.
You know what, Joan? Go ahead and use my hot tub. Just get out of the room. Here, just...
What are you guys talking about?
Here's the TV remote. Just go in.
What's the TV?
Relax. Just kick okay, relax. Just enjoy some cartoons.
That's
Magic
the tiny
TV.
vision.
Can,
The tiny vision.
can Rhomash do a bluff check for me?
Yeah, I got +0 on that. 9.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I think a 9 is enough to convince Joan right now because he is kind of mentally unstable right now.
Hell yes.
He's been losing a lot.
He
So,
is losing his shit.
plus, I mean, you're really giving him what he wants, so he's kind of just like, sort of shuffles off into the other room and...
So after this conversation, Seebo and Rhomash, I think, are going to take a stroll through the city, conveniently past the vault entrance to do some
Scouting.
Some scouting.
Also, I'm thinking about subtly asking Captain Artemis or whoever I can get friendly conversation going with about what the guard situation will be like. Are they going to move guards from elsewhere to go around in this party? Is this a big to-do? I mean,
I think you should ask Captain Artemis if
Yeah.
he would require your services.
My services.
After receiving my invitation,
protection.
could I do an investigation check to accidentally be in the same spot as them while they're observing the guard?
Investigation?
Because I am asking about... What was his name again?
The guy...
Oh, Cinnamon Twist?
His name was Hiron Silver Twist.
And asking about him and his wife, since I don't want to appear awkward
Is it?
upon not knowing his future wife.
Okay.
So is that a yes? I can roll an investigation?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
16.
Yeah, I think you see the two of them sort of leave together and you follow them.
How do you turn the bubbles on in this thing?
Rhomash forgot to...
Here's a straw.
Rhomash forgot to mention he uses his dragon's breath to heat the coals.
Alright, so, yeah, Mikhail's gonna follow them.
There's no interaction between me and them as long as I'm tailing.
Okay, so you're just
Can I
watching
do-
them do their thing.
Can
I'm
Rhomash
watching them.
Can Rhomash do a perception check of the area around him? He doesn't want to be too noticeable.
Yeah, once they get
sure.
to the vault, Seebo's also going to roll a perception check to see what he can see and learn about
That's
the vault.
17.
And also scout the area for anybody that might be putting mine in that point.
Okay.
Let's switch dice.
Hey, look, there's Mikhail.
I think you guys do actually notice Mikhail is about a block back from you.
I squint my eyes quizzically.
Rhomash just waves back like, "Hi, nothing going on over here, buddy. We're trying to find Joan. You know, and he went off to a tavern. We're trying to figure out where he is. You know, he's sad these days, and I don't want to feel lonely. I mean, he lost his family. He's always holding those toys.
Yeah, he's been trying to kill himself with alcohol, and now that, he's removed alcohol, we're scared of what he might do.
I'm afraid he'll probably use my hot tub and drown himself one of these days. So we're just trying to keep an eye on him."
Well then, why would you leave him in your room unattended?
Did he know that he was in my room?
If I was, like...
I mean, he saw all
Joan
that was going
enter
on,
and
yeah,
then leave.
so I think he knows, yeah.
Well, I mean, I wanted to keep him in a safe place.
Hey, we gotta go find
I go down the hallway to the bathroom, and I come out, my door's cracked open, he's not there anymore. I'm a little scared for the guy. Hopefully he's not back in my room dead in the hot tub and I just missed it, but I mean, he does tend to wander a little.
I don't think I even need to have a check if I can logically figure out that they left saying that, well, he might drown himself, and
Right,
they left.
yeah. I think that's it is a pretty bad lie that they're in right now.
So I give him a CD look.
Yeah. So, is Mikhail gonna try and convince his companions to come with him to the wedding?
No, I'm more or less, I've already decided on what I'm going to do.
Okay.
It's more or less curiosity as what the fuck are these guys up to.
Okay.
Rhomash grabs Mikhail by the arm and pulls him to an alleyway, looks him in the eye and said, "Alright, here's what's really going on. I do not trust these guys at all with that ring. It is sketchy to me that they don't have a plan already for getting rid of it." He's like, "Oh, there are ways of getting rid of these objects, but can't do this right now." That seems a little off to me. I don't trust them. So Seebo and I were planning on scouting out that vault entrance and seeing if we could use the wedding as, like, an excuse to have the guards wait while we try to get in there. And I just want to have a look around in the vault and see if there's anything fishy going on down there.
Well, you already recruited the one with the lightest and stickiest fingers, I see. Of course you would choose to recruit the one that has pickpocketed in every town that we have entered.
He also has the most experience with heists and jobs like this.
So you intend to steal?
No, I intend to break in, not take things.
There's only one thing that they have down there that I actually want, and it belongs to my family in the first place.
You know that's a load of bullshit.
Don't take it too seriously. I told him he gets 5 minutes to look around and we're out.
I cannot condone these actions, Rhomash. Though I will not stand in your way, all I ask is your assistance when I hunt out my adversary.
I already told you, I'm in on that. Don't worry about that, buddy.
You have an adversary.
Where the hell have you
Indeed.
been this whole adventure?
What?
He is the one who burned Timber's crest.
Oh, and sent those demons after me.
That would be him. Are you interested?
Yeah?
Alright. Well, we head north of Timber's Crest as soon as this wedding is finished. It has an interest for the Temple of Bahamut.
So, I think you sort of go your separate ways. These two continue to survey the surroundings here. So, the day of the wedding is now upon us, and,
Quick thing,
Is he still in the hot tub?
2 days later.
What did you figure out how to light the fire under there, buddy?
Yeah, I just took my gun and he casts the one spell
Would you
at
explain?
Coles again.
Firebolt?
Firebolt. Yeah, he uses Firebolt on him.
You roll a d20 for me.
I hate you all. Can't just enjoy it.
What'd you roll?
Critical fail.
Yeah.
No.
This is turning out to be the best.
Wild magic. I guess that'll count for one of them. I don't know how this one's going to work. You are transported to the astral plane until the end of your next turn, after which time you return to the space you previously occupied or the nearest unoccupied space that space is occupied.
Joan pulls the trigger on his revolver and immediately blinks into the astral plane. Where he's at, it's dark. He actually is still floating in something. It doesn't look like water, but he's still floating in something. And it's dark. He can't see anything.
Am I dead?
And then a couple seconds later, you blink back, and you are now laying naked outside of Rhomash's room. Because, as you look in, Rhomash's room is on fire.
Why am I naked, though?
You were in the hot tub.
You were getting ready to get in the hot tub. You
That's
fucking
right.
dude.
Damn, I went to buy new clothes.
We got this skinny ass, long fucking half elf.
So,
This is...
Fuck ass dude in the
so
hallway.
Rhomash's room is on fire.
That's not good.
And so, we'll say about an hour later, when Rhomash and Seebo show back up, there is a small group of these city watch members that have been helping to put out the fire, and so...
What's going on here? What? Joan, what'd you do now? I give you...
John Misty steps away.
Joan has only a hand towel to cover himself with.
Why are you naked right now?
Why are you not? Leave me alone. I thought it was dead and then your room was on fire.
Because it's frowned upon in society, otherwise I would be. Secondly, wait a minute. Do I smell smoke? What is that?
I was having a barbecue, don't worry.
Did you leave the hot tub coals on? You're supposed to douse the flame when you get out
Yeah,
of the tub.
that's what
And it
happened, I
says
think.
so on the side of the tub.
I died, I don't know.
They've got a little picture of a man outside the tub pouring water.
I'm going home for a change. Can I go home and change into my clothes, Rhomash? Or are you just going to lecture me on how to put on a hot tub?
goes to enter his room.
Joan runs home and gets new clothes.
Does Joan have a spare set of clothes?
No.
Joan, I'll have a proposition for you.
Yeah.
Give me 40 gold pieces. I'll go down to the market.
40
Buy-
gold pieces is yours. Here's my measurements, too.
And how much did it actually cost, Seebo, to buy
One of those
clothes
measurements
for this
seems
man?
I mean, I think you just buy him some basic clothes, but they're like a weird size. We'll say 15 gold pieces will get him some clothes. So he's pocketing 25 and he spent 15 on the clothes.
Yeah. Oh, so he went and got cheap clothes.
Correct. Yes.
Good. Those are going to rip her in battle, and I'm going to be naked against a bunch of goblins.
Don't you have armor? I thought you were wearing regular clothes most of this time.
I don't wear armor, no.
I mean, you
can't
could
wear
go
armor.
get better clothes.
I'll probably do that before we leave.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Okay.
Rhomash
Well, this was
contest.
fun. All right. So, the day of the
Oh, yeah. What time of day is the wedding at?
the wedding.
Yes.
We'll say it's going to start in the afternoon.
Okay, that's before Joan usually hits up the tavern, so he'll go. He's got
Okay.
nothing better to do. Especially
So-
now that the hot tub's gone.
So Mikhail and Joan are going. Rhomash and Seebo, after
I
some
keep them
discussion.
at least at arm's length most of the time.
Okay.
I'm going out to buy better clothes.
Could we
to
get
wear
a
to
whiteboard?
this.
His arm's length or your
The
arm's
whiteboard?
length? Because
Yeah.
you get two
His
different
arm's
arms length.
length.
Okay.
Okay. Rhomash and Seebo have decided that the best way to sort of cover their plan is to be seen at the wedding and then slip out so that they can, kind of have a cover. If somebody is sort of looking for them, then, they kind of have like, people saw me at the wedding, I was there, that kind of a thing.
An alibi, yeah.
You know, we go in our nice clothes, and then we have
Rhomash makes sure to polish his scales up,
Then
It
we
wants
have
to be shiny
the
bronze,
duffel bag
In the broom closet, yeah.
Pull out, put the tactical gear on.
Rhomash is not bringing any weapons with it.
How much did I spend on buying better clothes than the ones that he got me? He wants his clothes that are nice enough to be presentable at a wedding, but well enough for use afterward. Because the ones that he got were cheap.
Does he
And
have one of
obvious.
those fake shirt fronts that he has that only comes down to like here and like an old sport jacket?
No, he's just gonna look like presentable.
I guess we'll say you spent 20.
I go in the armor that I left the temple with because I know that as the groom, as a sponsor of the temple, he should at least recognize the craftsmanship.
Okay. So you guys all kind of go into this sort of big gathering area in the home. And I guess I should just say, because I kind of partially described it before, but I'll just in more detail. Hiron's got a really nice house. This dude is definitely loaded. Everything is very ornate. Like I said before, a lot of the things sort of have kind of a Bahamut twist to them. Sort of in the same vein of like how today it's sort of trendy for Hollywood stars to have Buddhist-inspired stuff. He's using these sort of crests and showmanship of Bahamut as a fashion piece more than anything. So that's kind of the aesthetic of this house. Everything is super expensive. There's actually, for the two of you that intend to try and slip out, there is slightly more security in this house than you were initially anticipating. So, I think that the two of you decide that Seebo is going to try and slip out and sort of figure out a pathway out, since Rhomash is
Kind of big and
kind of big.
fair.
Yeah. So, try to find a way to get out and then sort of come back and lead Rhomash out. So, Seebo gets out. He's able to kind of slip behind some curtains, I think, and sort of slide his way out. And as he's hunting around some side passages, he goes past a closed door and is just about to continue walking, but then he stops because he hears the distinct sound of bags of gold clinking together.